want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bicycle. Yeah. Morning, folks. This isn't exactly off grid, is it? But it's one of those things that I suppose I'm able to demonstrate a simple fact of life. None of us ever like to be wrong. You know, it's not a comfortable feeling for many people, is it? But on a day like this, let me just wind that around. Yeah, that's pretty good. I realised I made a mistake. Not knowing a lot about bicycles, other than it comes with two wheels, two pedals, a handlebar, and quite often a very sore seat. But because I was using it, as you know, as you guys know that do follow me, I've sat there and yes, had the health issues, all going well, everything's going good. Part and parcel of getting it good was this, my electric bicycle. And because I work festivals, I took it to work with me, and so that I was able to get around, go out and about, see places, etc, etc, etc. Plus the obvious one is minding my health. Now, with minding me health, yeah, do exercise, which is good, yeah, not a problem. Not of having had a bicycle for quite a number of years now. When I was touring full time, I always had one, but not anymore. So, and the maintenance then, we used to buy the cheapest bicycle we could get our hands on. If it got broke, it got broke. We never maintained it. We never cared for it. It just got us around the venues. Whereas this is more an investment. So, hey ho, we need to look after it. Maintenance. One of the things on days like this where it's nice outside, trying to get on top of things to save me the hassle further down the road. Plus, like with anything, if I want this to work well, I need to maintain it. If I want that to work well, I've got to maintain it. So here we are. Mistake number one. I knew I was going to festivals. They can be very muddy, they can be very dusty, and quite an eclectic in between. So, in my stupidity, I chose to use a heavier chain grease, which is designed for motorbikes, which obviously those chains are a lot bigger, they travel a lot faster, so they need a bit more protection. Well, dust, dirt, grass, and anything else that matters at a festival will stick to really thick grease. So towards the very end, I was starting to have a problem with the gearing system and not realising what the problem was, just thinking perhaps it's wet today, just realising that perhaps it was the derailleur needing adjusting and things like this. Not 100% sure. Let me just put that there. So I then thought, well, right, we'll go down and check the derailleur. Then I realised that the derailleur had collected remnants of all the festivals I've done this summer. So there we have it. A situation where I'm now doing a service on it, to maintain it so that I can use it efficiently and effectively. Yeah, degreasing it, getting lots of little bits of grass and things out of all the cogs because it was changing gear on its own. And when I investigated, I could see there was grass wrapped around the derailleur, so of course the chain wouldn't quite sit right. So change. So an extremely pain in the arse job, getting covered in bloody grease and all this and that. Yep, whatever. It is what it is. And so stage one, I won't bore you with all of this, but stage one is, as I'm doing now, I'm putting on a degreasant just to loosen everything up, clean everything up. So I'm starting again with a blank canvas, and that can now fester for a while. So once I've done that, what I shall do is an all-in-one spray. It's like WD-40, etc, etc. There's various different names. WD-40 is the proof, as I've explained in another video. It's the proof. Oh, I know that one only works that way. That sometimes you've got to try again. Because WD-40, 40 represents the amount of times it took to get the winning formula. But it's good. So I'm going to degrease it, clean all the degreasing off, then I shall spray it liberally with WD-40 just to help get in those little bits further, and that clean it off. And then I'm going to get, basically it's an all-weather chain lube, and then I'll give it a coat of that. That then will hopefully get me through the winter, allow me to go down and do my shopping, get my eggs, and just general go out exercise. Anyway, that's enough of that one. I've explained all of that. Lots of little jobs that we have to do in the autumn, well, any time of the year in reality. But now I feel is a good time to try and get on top of all these little jobs so that when the winter comes, you are actually on top. Because when the winter does come, as you full well know, short days, long nights, bad weather, which doesn't inspire you to want to go and work outside. But there we go. Right, we're going to show you now. I've done that. We're going on to the next job. That's what I'm doing there. Another little job I'm going to do today. I'll show you in a second. Come with us. Well, nearly 2 hours I spent sorting out that bicycle. Well, now, yeah, that's all clean. All the gunk and festival gatherings on the cogs are gone, and that's all now. It's nicely done. It's all been cleaned down. I've greased it. That's ready. I can go shopping without changing gear. Up, down, up, down. And as you can see, no bed. The dogs. No, not sad news. They're out doing another little job. I'm not going to stop long. I've wiped this down to clean it because throughout the summer when I'm not here, I've seen little birds coming here, probably robins and blue tits, and they've secreted. They've had a poo. So originally when I got the reclinable sofa, didn't know what to do with this one, so this one came out here. And then I thought, I like this out here. So that's when the screens came about, so that I've got this protected area to sit outside, listen to nature, and chat with you while I'm having a coffee. And one thing I will mention, please subscribe. Like notifications. You hear it on many channels. It does make a difference. It's costing you nothing, but it does help me. And it does help me. I don't, when I start making some reasonable money, I'll talk about it. But I'm making very little money. No, I'm not obsessed about it. Good things take time, and this channel may and may not increase to the point that it can give me a living without having to go north of the gate. So if you could find it in your hearts to hit the subscribe button, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, I'm cracking on because I've got lots of jobs and you'll see other bits and pieces. But this has been wiped down now because I've decided that I'm going to keep it. As you know, the little one, she loves it on here. I mean, so does the big one, but the little one, she sort of made it sofa, and it is a comfy, cosy place to sit. So, being that this is leather and the weather's not going to do it a great deal of favours, I happened to find some leather cleaner, which is also a leather care, which was in the days of when I was driving trucks full time and basically maintaining the seats in the trucks. I have no use for it. Throw it away. No, 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 no. What I'm going to do is treat this to try and, again, I just want to try and give it a bit of longevity, to try and look after. I have to look after me. You know, if I want to last longer, I've got to look after me. If I want this to last longer, I've got to look after that. I want the bike to last, I've got to look after it. Anything you want to keep, you do have to look after. But that's enough of me rambling here. I'm cracking on, and I shall see you in a bit. Another little job here is, yes, I'm using weed killer. It's not friendly stuff. Weed killer generally isn't. But I've not done it for a couple of years now. But another little job, because the weather forecast is looking to be in my favour. All I'm doing is all the way around the hut. I'll do it every couple of years, just under the hut, because as you can see from the back of this one, my hut it's all built on stilts. It's not permanently attached to the ground, and which allows weeds, ivy, one of the worst ones, brambles. They can grow up. It can affect my structure. It can affect the building, and it allows rodents to perhaps climb up to get to the underfloor, etc., etc. So a little bit of sort of protecting myself, protecting my hut, is what I'm doing. Is going round, and as you can see, the ground that this is on was never a level ground, but that's why the decision to do a stilt build was the only obvious build. And must admit, trying to get it all level to start with, it was a little bit frustrating. There was a few choice words thrown on a regular basis, I won't deny it. And I'm getting caught up on the brambles, so I shall get rid of it, let them die as well. But yeah, I'll just go around the building because the forecast is going to be pretty dry for the next is required for this particular weed killer to work and take effect. It's a Gallop XL, which the reason why I've got Gallop XL is because there's knotweed. Well, I should say there is. Yes, there is. There was quite a lot of knotweed here, and here in the UK, I've just noticed something. Here in the UK, people, oh, knotweed, it's illegal. It's illegal. It's technically illegal to have knotweed near buildings, proper conventional buildings, but this isn't a conventional building and I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I've just spotted something here which I partly was aware of, and that's the weighted chain for my screens, but I've got something to resolve that. So in part and parcel of doing, yes, autumnal jobs, because a lot of plants this time of the year are starting to die back. especially things like knotweed, which is the primary reason I gallop. Which means that the plant is drawing all its nutrients through the light, the leaves, into the roots so that it can survive the winter. Well, lots of things are dying back. You spray this on, oh, it's a weed killer, it's chemicals, nasty. Yeah, there is chemicals. I mean, I'm not a chemical fan, but I had a problem with knotweed and I needed to eradicate it. So I still have some. It's good for going around the hut, because what it does is the plant now all the leaves and its moisture, it's going to draw the weed killer into itself, because plants are trying to survive a winter. And basically what it does is it gives the plant a massive sugar rush. It's like overdosing on sugar, and it dies off. So that's another little job that we do every autumn, is go around, check. I do the hut every couple of years. Now back to my other little issue, because whilst you're doing things like this, I'm looking around as to thinking, you know, is any of this coming loose? Is any of that coming loose? The maintenance aspect, which when you live unconventionally and alternatively, this isn't a traditional professionally brick built building. It's going to need maintaining. And things like where the wind, I'm treading on my own shoelaces now. The wind blows, catches this. It has started to rip this. No, I'm not going to be able to recover this, because over time, this PVC will get more and more brittle and it will break out. What I can do is give it a bit more life for now. And what I'm doing is cutting off, this is a foil ribbed tape, which, you know, I'll put, oh, you know, get gaffer tape. Gaffer tape is strong, but I have found that this foil tape is less likely to rip, and it is actually pretty strong. I mean, it may not be the perfect solution, but it's definitely staving execution, because when that dies, I've got to spend more money, and they weren't cheap. So what we do, little lengths like that, sandwich it together, and it will help, and hopefully will last another year, 2 years. Only time is going to tell us on that one. So yeah, I mean, this, what I'm doing now, is akin to normal life if you've got a property. I mean, if you live in a camper, you've got to maintain the camper. If you live in a caravan, you've got to maintain a caravan. You live in a normal house, you've got to maintain a normal house. Anything you live in has to be looked after, it has to be catered for. If you choose to ignore it, it's going to come round and bite you in the bum. So little jobs like this, even though it's only a silly little job, it's only taken a couple of minutes. Let me just get that chain up in there, and that should hold that together quite nicely. It's just slowing down what inevitably is going to happen in time. That's another little job we're doing. So I never sit down, people. I'm not a sitting down sort of person, really. But yeah, so we're going around there. In about 3 days, I'll start to see that dying off. And it's just holding nature away from my home, which makes my home potentially last longer. Anyway, on to the next task. Look at that. Almost like a new sofa. Nice and shiny, nice and clean, and the leather has been treated. So hopefully it will last a lot longer. And on for the next task, which I won't bore you with on this video, but all of here, all the woodwork around the hut, that's another job that I prefer to do in the autumn. The reason why I prefer to do it in the autumn, let me just try and put you down here for a minute. Yeah, sorry about me, me and cameras, we aren't the best of people. But yeah, the reason I prefer to do things like this in the autumn is because that's when the bad weather is likely to hit us. It's the continued moisture levels, the rain, the wind, the snow, the ice. So I'm doing everything I can in preparation for the winter to doing it all in the autumn, so that when the winter comes, and I don't want to be out here doing things. Hello, little one. I'm soldiering on, purely because it's just trying to get everything outside. I've got to get the gutter done, clean that out. And so I want to treat all the woodwork here, which I've got down here. It's only cheap, but it's a decking sealant and protector. It's cheap, but it does work. So it's a frugal way of doing it, instead of buying all your fancy branded ones that you know people, oh, that's the best, that's the best. Well, that's because the adverts have told you that. Sometimes it's worth a little trial and error, a little bit of testing. But this stuff, yes, it is relatively cheap compared to your big branded ones, and it does the job. So once a year, I treat the timber again. It's just to help give me, as I keep saying, longevity. Or will it survive? And my intention is, because I don't live in a normal bricks and mortar environment, I have to spend more time maintaining and be more aware of my belongings, my home, than I would in a normal house. So yes, the off-grid alternative life, as I prefer, yeah, it is harder work. So if you are of a lazy persuasion, don't think that off-grid life is easy or giving you the ability to be lazy. It's something that has to be continually worked on. But anyway, that's enough for me today. I'm going to crack on, yeah, but that'll be another video. But it's just to sort of highlight that I have to work, not necessarily continuously, but I do have to work harder, you know, per day, per week, per month, per year, to maintain my paradise. And yes, it works for me. And hopefully for you guys, you know, yeah, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit more enlightenment that, you know, my channel is not, it's not all about off-grid or alternative. It's more about, yeah, it is my life in an alternative way to the stereotypical norm. And it's just for those of you that are living alternatively, you are obviously fully aware. But it's for those of you that are sort of popping into my channel, and many others, I'm not just about my channel, because you may be thinking or considering this alternative way. Don't be fooled. It's not easy. You can't really be lazy. Yes, I can have easy days. Yes, I can have lazy days. I do have that choice, and I do have them. But there is a lot of work that has to be done behind the scenes of this is off-grid life. It's maintaining off-grid life. And just so, yeah, that's what this one's about. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. please write in the comments. I know I keep saying it, but I do love your comments. And if you go and check on all the comments, yes, you do see that I do interact, and I do enjoy that interaction. It's a little bit of therapy for me. So anyway, people, it's time for me to skedaddle. Remember, up there in the corner, the chicken logo. Coming soon, a chicken video. Not quite the chickens, but a step closer. Thank you very much to each and every one of you that have, for those of you who have continued, and those of you who are thinking. It is, from the bottom of my heart, it is truly appreciated. So, I thank you. Anyway, enough of my ramblings. Take care and see you next time. Ta-ta for now.